All right, let me go ahead and talk plainly, okay? I'm going to go ahead and talk very, very plainly. For those of you who have been listening to me for quite some time, you know I say a lot of cold words. I say a lot of things that I try to stimulate thought. I realize, believe you me, I realize that in this country, we're too sucked in by Western lifestyle and entertainment that it's really, truly hard for us to really hear, because we only hear things that we want to hear. Let me go ahead and break down this Afghanistan thing for you and show you and tell you what's really going on, okay? They tell us that it's a war on terror, all right? That's the prelude. The truth is that this war on so-called alleged terror is about mineral rights. We're not over there because we care about terrorism. Terrorism has been going on ever since the beginning of time. The reason why we're there is because of minerals. And when we say, listen to me very closely, when America says that there's no timetable for us to be pulling outside of Afghanistan, that's because we have the desires to build infrastructure there. And in building that infrastructure over there, the way we're going to so-called, quote-unquote, allegedly defeat terrorism is weighted out by 2 or 3 generations. And what I mean by that is that the insurgency that's over there, because you have to understand that they are not considered a nation. Nations, believe it or not, have rules of engagement. And those rules of engagement are defined by the Geneva Convention. There's actually a code of conduct concerning war, believe it or not. And America will, and I want y'all to mark my words, and of course, you know, you have time to mark them here. We will build infrastructure over there because society as a whole, and with all the EPA quacking and barking and everything else, you all have to understand and see, when you go to some of these gas pumps and you see these big electric things sitting over there on the side, and it's a whole lot cheaper than gas. And they're really moving in the automotive industry towards electric because of the environmental alleged so-called safety that it has. And in order for this wave of the future to go forth, especially to build these batteries and to become what you call energy independent in a lot of areas, especially because of the sun. We know that solar panels, you need silver. You need silver. And we know in order to detonate an intercontinental ballistic missile, you need silver, a whole monster box, 500 ounces. And then once it's gone, it's gone. But in order to power these electric vehicles, you need a mineral called cobalt. If you don't understand, comprehend what I'm saying, just go do some research besides just sitting up here and filling yourself up on YouTube and stuff. Now, believe me, I honor you for actually taking your time throughout the day to actually listen to me. I realize that there are very, very few people. That's why I spend a lot of time over on Patreon, and even more so coming up. I speak to my patrons over there totally different than I do the people here on YouTube, but yet and still I still give you information. I tell you all this because the way that they have these things going, the way they have them planned, you need to wake up. Because if you don't change this right here, you're going to find your children and your children fighting in this war of minerals. Now, China has already alleged response because of the words that President Donald Trump used in reference to Pakistan. And why would they respond? That's because China and Pakistan are allies. Listen, man. Anyway, I think I've said enough already. I don't have no confidence whatsoever at all in the generation that we're faced with today. I truly just don't. I do know this, and let me end this video on this and give you this wisdom. This I do know. I know for a fact that the people who are informed and the people who stay ready, notice I said a key word, who stay ready, and use strategic strategy to get themselves ready. Nothing is going to take them by surprise. And living in a life of preparedness is always a safe haven, because if you don't think preparedness is key, wait till something takes place. And you don't know how long you may be in a condition. It could be weeks, months, or years that could alter and change your very life, and the weeping howl is going to go all across and all through this land. I can only hope, and that is just a hope, that more you will become intelligent and stop all the, basically the religious arguing over nothing, because, sitting out bashing people on the street about belief system and being a bigot is not solving the problems today. It's definitely not going to help you. And there are people out there my age that are still foolishly have no hope in this world. They have to depend on the system, depend on the government. I'm not one of them. As a young man, I wasn't even thinking about trying to depend on them for livelihood or lifestyle. And as I get older, I definitely not depend on them. We're trying to build something for the generation to come. But at Straitway, we educate our children. We truly do, and our people. And I hope that you would do the same if you have any care whatsoever at all. Because when you look at those little children, they don't have, and nor have their mind has been able to develop to comprehend and understand the world that they live in now and the changes that are taking place. And you and I can only imagine what this world is going to look like in another 10 years.